Are you curious if Howell's the right community for you? In this video, we're going to cover the community, the lifestyle, the schools, the housing options, everything you need to know to decide if this community is right for you. Stick around. If you're new to the channel, my name's Ryan. I'm a local real estate broker here in Michigan, specializing in Metro Detroit. And we put out these videos here on Michigan Living every week to highlight the different areas and lifestyles that Michigan has to offer. Let's start with the downtown area. So Howell's got this gorgeous downtown area. You know, you could call it quaint, but to be honest with you, it's a lot bigger than a lot of the other smaller towns within Metro Detroit. But it's got that historic charm and that small town community feel, even though Howell's not really that small of a town. When I think of Howell, there's a lot of different communities that we'll talk about later on that kind of make up Howell Mailing and Howell Schools. And so it's not really a small town, but it'll give you that small town feel. And ultimately, this downtown's got a lot of great restaurants, a lot of great shops, and it's really just kind of a cool place to come and spend a weekend, or really just a nice, beautiful day like I have today. So some of my favorite places down here, if you're looking for a little bit fancier of a place, I mean, not too fancy, but a little bit more upscale, you got Diamond Steakhouse, which is always sure to please. Good food there. But for a little bit more casual setting, we've really been digging Two Fogs as of late. And Two Fogs actually stands for Two Effin' Old Guys, but it's got a speakeasy vibe. It's down in the basement with brick walls and just a really cool place to get brunch and hang out. They've also got a completely private patio, so when the weather's nice, you can eat outside, and it's got just a cool vibe all around. And then for dessert, there's N Street Bakery, and N Street obviously has its baked goods, but it's really become famous for these over-the-top milkshakes with all kinds of different fixings in it. And so after a nice brunch or night on the town, so a lot of great options here and plenty more than the ones that I just named. Now, admittedly, I don't do a lot of shopping here in downtown Howell, but one of the favorite boutiques that I know a lot of people enjoy, my wife included, is the Walnut Street Marketplace. Now, this is a cute little shop where they have home decor, they have refinished furniture, they have all kinds of little knickknacks and junk, as they like to call it, but refinished, beautiful junk. So it's a cool place. They're only open on the weekend, and you can come in there and get some stuff for the house. They have classes on how to refinish things yourself, and so it's definitely become a popular spot for people here locally. Now, there are plenty of housing options here right in the downtown area, most of which are your historic variety, right? So if that's your thing, then plenty of options at pretty affordable prices compared to some other downtown areas. But if you're looking for new and contemporary, not a ton of options in the immediate vicinity for that. But we'll get more in detail about the different housing options within Howell, but certainly some options here if you like the walkability. Now, if community events are your thing, Howell's got a few that it's pretty well known for in the area. The first one is in June, and it's the Howell Balloon Fest. And this place is pretty cool. It's got a carnival, it's got live music and entertainment, it's got skydiving demonstrations and different kites and things like that. But obviously, it's Balloon Fest for a reason, and that meaning hot air balloons. So you'll see hundreds take off so long as the weather permits. And honestly, you can see it for miles and miles around, not just here in Howell. And it's a pretty cool part of the summer for sure. One of the other cool things that Howell does every year in August is the Howell Melon Fest. Now, this has different entertainment. It's got lots of things to do for the kid. And of course, some melon tasting, specifically a variety of cantaloupe that's pretty known for the area. And then, of course, in the holiday season, you have the Fantasy of Lights Parade. And this is, you know, just like it sounds like, you have a parade going through the main thoroughfare here, but you have marching bands and you have floats, and they're all decorated and tricked out with lights. And of course, definitely an appearance by the big guy, Santa Claus himself. And then last but not least, you have the farmers market that happens seasonally throughout the year, and come down here and get some fresh produce or little knickknacks that are locally made and sourced. All right, so outside of the downtown area, you have all kinds of different things that you can do in the Howell area. If you're looking for an active lifestyle, you've got Howell City Park, you've got Thompson Lake, you've got Lake Chemung. Not too far away, you've got Kensington Metro Park and Island Lake State Park. And so if you're somebody that likes the outdoors and you like, hunting, fishing, hiking, and just all around in general, like being outside, a lot of options for you in this area. And one of the coolest places is actually the Howell Nature Center, which great place to bring kids. They've got a lot of protected animals that are most often injured in the wild and then rehab at the nature center before being released. Some of the animals are not quite able to be released, but still a cool place to come and visit and explore some of the local animals that you'll experience here in Michigan. Now, for me personally, when I think of what type of activities I want in the area, it's hockey and it's golf. Those are my two favorite pastimes depending on the time of the year. And Howell has the 140 Ice Den, which plays host to the state runner-up Howell Highlanders. For golf, you got a lot of great options around here. You got Chemung Hills, you got Falkwood Shores, you got Iron Gate, you got Hawk Meadows. And we actually used to be members at Oak Point Country Club if country club living is your kind of style. Oak Point actually has two 18-hole courses that are phenomenal courses. Clubhouse, pool, all that extra stuff. Tennis if that's your thing, but it's also on Crooked Lake. So if you're actually a resident of the community, you can get a boat slip there on Crooked Lake and kind of have best of both worlds, little golf in the morning, little lake living in the afternoon. Now, when I talk about Howell, I'm talking about the city of Howell, obviously, but I'm also talking about Howell Township, Marion Township, Osceola Township, parts of Iosco Township, and even parts of Brighton Township make up Brighton Mailing or Howell Mailing and Howell Schools. And so you have a large variety of communities all within the same area that make up the Howell area, as we're going to refer to it in this video. And what's cool about the area is that location-wise, you're pretty centrally located to multiple metro areas here in Southeast Michigan. So you're about 50 minutes to Detroit, but you're only 40 minutes to Lansing, about 45 minutes to Ann Arbor, and you're also about 45 minutes to Flint. And so if you're commuting for work, it's not necessarily nestled up against any one of those metro areas, but if you happen to have a family where your husband and wife are going in separate directions or different family members are headed, one's in Detroit, one's in Lansing, or one's in Ann Arbor, one's in Flint, then Howell could be a nice central location for you. Now, not that long ago, Howell kind of lacked some of the conveniences that you might have been looking for. It would have been a little bit of a commute to get to your hardware stores, your grocery stores. And at this point, the area is developed enough that you're going to find everything that you're looking for. The only thing that you might be lacking is things like a Whole Foods, but you have a Lowe's, a Walmart, a Meijer, you got your Buffalo Wild Wings, your Paneras, all that good stuff. And I'm actually out here at the Tanger Outlets in Howell. And so if you're familiar with outlet malls, this one's not as big as, say, like a Birch Run, which is a little bit north of us, but plenty of shops. You got your Nike, your Under Armour, your H&M, all that good stuff that you're used to at a Howell or out of an outlet store, and plenty of shopping and really things that you could do all day here if you wanted to spend the whole day. Or where we frequented is typically, back to school season, things like that, when we have a lot of purchases to make and looking for a really good deal. Part of what's cool about Howell and what some of the draw is, honestly, is the wide variety of different home styles that you can find in Howell, and for really decently affordable price. Now, Howell's median sales price is higher than our MLS as a whole, but the median sales price is lower than neighboring Brighton and Heartland, and certainly a lot lower than some of the communities that are a little bit closer to Metro Detroit. Now, in terms of home styles, you're going to be able to find anything that you're looking for, and by anything, I mean anything. Anything from a little condo, attached condo, loft style condo, detached condo, to your single families in a neighborhood, to lake frontage, to more rural or wooded. You can find acreage within subdivisions, without subdivisions, or if you're looking for a little space, something that allows you to have maybe a few animals, but maybe not a full-blown farm. That's an option too. I mean, so lots of variety, because I don't know if you heard me name the half dozen townships that make up the Howell area. There's a lot of space out here that's all part of this growing area. New construction is also an option in Howell if you like the idea of starting fresh with something that's never been lived in. And you can find anything from a condo that's in the 300 range to plotted homes in a neighborhood in the 750 range. But you can get as crazy with it as you'd like to, because there's plenty of builders in the area and plenty of land. So you can find yourself a lot or some acreage and build a custom home that fits your needs if that's what you're looking for. So if you've gotten to this point in the video and you're thinking to yourself, Ryan's really only named positive things about the area. The only real negative that we've heard is the fact that there might be a little bit of a commute to some of the major metro areas. And to me, that's probably the biggest issue. The other thing that it's maybe lacking is in terms of school rating. And so while it's in the top 30% of school districts within the state of Michigan, greatschools.org only rates it a 6 out of 10. And that has a lot to do with the fact that the per student funding for the school is a little bit less than the state average. And so the district might not be able to have the same sort of programs and extracurriculars that some of the other school districts in the area may have. But ultimately, with the amount of influx of people coming to the area, I think that funding issue changes. And I think ultimately that the schools are on the rise. And that pretty much covers the main things I think you need to know about Howell and whether or not it's a community that might be a fit for you. If you're looking for more detailed information, I'm happy to consult with you about Howell or any of the other areas in Metro Detroit that might be a better fit for you. And ultimately, we hope that you found value in this video. And if you did, will you make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, because we're putting out videos every week about the different communities, cultures, and lifestyles that Michigan has to offer. And if this one wasn't a fit, then maybe one of the future videos may be. So we appreciate you watching the video, and we'll see you on the next one.